2008 was loaded with action,
with drama,
a touch of fun.
It was loaded with interesting people.
Recon is about real people.
It's about real missions and events around the world.
We work hard to bring our viewers subject matters that matter to them.
Welcome to this very special edition of Recon. Over the next half hour, we're going to be bringing you the people, places, missions, and events we introduced you to in 2008, only with a little bit of a twist. We're going to do it through the recollections and insights of those intimately involved with each production. As you're about to learn, getting to the heart of each story involves some emotionally charged and physically demanding moments.
The Toughest Day is a program that presents the kind of training that is as realistic as possible for units about to deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan.
You got to build relationships. This is part of counterinsurgency warfare.
The enemy is a thinking enemy.
They are unpredictable. No matter what happens, we're prepared for whatever hits us.
It was impressive. You're talking about 1,000 people involved with this training, simunitions, fireworks, all kinds of gunfire from different weapons, and they make it realistic.
The difficulty is in not knowing what really is going to happen. The first time you're seeing any of the locations is when you get there and it's happening and you have to respond. And that ultimately becomes more difficult for the photographer than the producer.
Pump that 50 cal! Pump it twice! Pump it twice!
Baskets, back them up! You got a sketch go!
Spread out! Another 10 feet!
You have the trainers, the trainees, and the people acting as insurgents. And to capture those 3 vantage points with one camera is extremely challenging. You have to hustle around and you get one chance to capture something. If you're pointing over here and the action happens right here, you missed it. But our editor, Yvonne McGee, does such a great job editing one camera's vantage point and really bringing the viewer as close as you can get to realism from 3 vantage points of insurgent, trainer, trainee, and I was really happy with the way that came out.
The producers and the photographers worked their behinds off to give me the best possible options to help tell that story. The photographers could put their tripod up and just say, you know, I got it, this is what they do. But they don't. They get down in the dirt with people, they climb up on things. They'll look at it from different perspectives and different angles to make sure they've covered that within the time given as well as possible to make sure they're coming back with the best story possible to convey to people that may not otherwise ever have a chance to be exposed to that subject.
The Geronimos, which is the term they used for the opposing forces at Fort Polk, were sort of a fascinating lot. It's their regular Army job to grow their hair out and hang out in the woods and take pot shots at other Army guys who are in regular units who are coming through the training.
You're standing there shooting this, and although it's a simulation, it feels real, and they just did such a great job with explosions and smoke. I'm standing videotaping maybe 20 feet away from a grenade explosion, and that's a simunition, and it goes off, and I kind of shake a little bit. I mean, it's kind of jarring to hear that sound, and it's only a simunition with smoke. I mean, I can't imagine the real thing when you know your life is on the line, and all those fireworks are going on, and it's for real.
Sappers is the story of a incredibly demanding course taught at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for advanced combat engineer NCOs and junior officers.
We're there to dismantle or destroy this or breach that door so you can get inside the building or collapse this portion so that you can attack. There's a battlefield multiplier in the offense.
Combat engineers are supposed to be the guys who get to the obstacle first and blow it up. So they have to do what normal, regular infantry units do in terms of maneuver and tactics. So they were learning those things under very arduous situations.
I shot probably, I would guesstimate 20 recons, at least. Physically, this was the most demanding recon. If I want to shoot the video, I have to be with them on a regular basis. And the only way to be there with them was to run with them. But I was determined just to convey the reality of it. You know, they're not there for their good health. They're there because they want to be useful to their unit.
It was a mother.
Get your hand out of that rescue weight and just rappel.
It was physically the most difficult thing I have ever done. And we weren't remotely working as hard as the guys who were going through the course.
Hey, this is AT4, you're dead. Get down, Gurley. You don't want to get down behind cover concealment, you're dead.
One of the sergeants was just really quick.
Say pop. Hey. That's your head popping out your ass right now.
And very critical.
You need to square this away, like right now.
And they were very natural and open and were not putting on a public affairs face just because there was a TV camera in the clearing.
And get the position attention like the rest of the patrol. Guys, I get the water! What the
The Crucible is a test of whether or not individual Marine recruits measure up to what they've learned. It is the most physically and mentally demanding period of boot camp. And if the recruits measure up during this test, they become Marines. I think it is analogous to recruit training in any of the services in that part of it is you're sort of depersonalized and they break you down to build you up. But with the Marines, I think it's more so.
Move faster! Move faster!
These young guys were going through these exercises and the grimaces on their faces, and I could just see that they were really pushing it physically, emotionally, psychologically, pushed to the brink. And you could just feel that on camera. It was awesome. And the thing that moved me most about the Crucible, bar none, was at the very end when they were given their Marine Corps emblem.
And you wouldn't think a little emblem about that big that you put in your hat would cause or be the source of such emotion.
And, you know, the tears are flowing and they're just really choked up and emotional. It was so important to them to be where they are and to accomplish what they did.
And it was really very touching to be there and see all these 18, 19, 20-year-old tough guys lose it, you know. They were overcome by the emotion of having succeeded. And it makes it all the more poignant that they have strived for something that they want, and they want to be one of those people who puts themselves out there in genuine harm's way and, you know, maybe among those who don't come back. That's part of the gig.
This show was about the brown water sailors, their history dating back to Vietnam, and where they're going in this ongoing global war on terror.
We're a worldwide deployable force. Fast boats with guns that can go into littoral areas.
We can impact the bad guy in areas where he thought he was safe before.
We're a lot of bang for the buck.
I just thought it was really neat how today's Riverines relied so much upon the game wardens or the old brown water sailors to be able to stand up like they did.
They've got things down perfect. It's great to hear their stories and what they've done.
We feel like they're our kids, you know, and we just want to do everything that we possibly can for them.